Hey everybody, Mark Henderson here with MWH Adventures. Now listen, this was supposed to be a summary at the end of the video, but I think I'm going to put it at the beginning of the video because I kind of wanted to lead in and give a little bit of explanation. This is the very first video that I've ever done, on one of these trips. So this is going to be the travel um, portion of the Argentina trip. The Argentina trip in May of 2024. It's the very first one I decided to do this on. And I learned a lot of things on it whenever I started trying to edit this all together. First off, I even had to figure out how to even do any of this editing and this stuff. So these videos hopefully are going to get a lot better because I have a better idea now of what I need to do and how to go about videoing it and doing it. But anyway, this is just kind of get us going here. But this is the travel portion of this Argentina trip. Now there are a lot of things that I actually did learn on this trip, and I thought it was going to be a really easy one, and it was. It was. But here are some things in here that I want you to know. I want you to get this information so that you don't have the same kind of issues that me and Wendy had. All right, so first off, I'm going to tell you about a translation app. It's ChatGPT. This app is going to be a lifesaver, or at least it was for me and Wendy, whenever it comes to conversing with taxi drivers, people in hotels and restaurants, and reading menus, and you name it. We wound up down there and just don't, habla. We know speak Spanish, and this is a problem, and it's not their problem, it's my problem. I get that. But trying to get anywhere and trying to order meals and trying to figure out all this stuff was it was painful. Chat GPT was able to do worked the magic for us, and it was a good benefit to have. So I wanted to start off with that. Another thing, the next part is, so we finally get down there and we get through immigration. There is no big deal. It was really easy. We get out, we get onto the, with a taxi driver. We start chat GPTing him to translate, trying to tell him where we're trying to go. And we wound up telling him that we just wanted to go to a hotel that was close to the domestic airport. Well, that was tough actually. But anyway, he finally he figured it out, and he took us to a hotel called the Scala, Scala, Scala Hotel. Now, it was really nice. It was very nice. We just wanted to stay there for the afternoon. We wanted to get a shower, get a meal, and get a nap. We arrived in Buenos Aires early that morning into international, airport, and we were leaving out that afternoon at 4 o'clock out of the domestic airport. And that is about a 45-minute drive across town. So that's information you may want to know as well. But we wound up, having some time that we could get a nap. He took us to the Scala Hotel. We didn't even argue. It was fine. We went in there. I asked how much it was. They had English-speaking concierge and desk people. They were able to help us out. It cost $90. That's a pretty expensive nap, but it was well worth it. That hotel has restaurants right there. We didn't have to go anywhere. We could eat. It was quick. Shower, get a nap, and up. And they had a taxi waiting for us. We had already told them what time we needed to be leaving. They had a taxi waiting for us out front, packed our bags, and away we went. So that was it was a really nice place. So I wanted to kind of give a shout out to them. Now I'm sure there are probably quite a few other hotels in that area around the domestic airport. It may even be a little bit cheaper, maybe not. I don't know. This is the one we went to, and it was nice and it was clean. It was a good place. You're going to see it in the video. Whenever we landed in the the international airport, EZE, at in Buenos Aires, we exchanged our money right there, and I make a little joke on the video about how they handed me this great big gangster wallet, and it's a heck of an exchange rate. But I would suggest going ahead and exchanging it right there. You're going to wind up using these pesos actually quite a bit with all with the trip, the way we did the trip, and all the different taxis and the tipping and all this, that, and the other. It was just so much easier to do it with pesos, and a lot of it paying even with taxi rides and stuff with pesos. It was good that I had went ahead and exchanged that much money right up front. I used it the entire trip. So that'd be another little piece of advice I'd give you. And you get a little bit better rate there as well. Now, when we left from the Scala Hotel to go to the domestic airport, we thought it's domestic. We only need an hour before we fly out. So let's get as much nap as we can. That's a mistake. We cut it way too short. You need 2.5 hours, and here's why. So when you get to it was 10-15 minute ride down the road, not very far, but you also need to know, this is important. This right here is important. You need to know where you're flying to. We were flying to Santa Rosa. That is a north destination, a north departure. All right. If we'd have been going to, say, Patagonia or somewhere else region, it'd have probably been out of, say, the south departure. Well, we didn't know that. We didn't know that the domestic terminal, is separated into north and south. Taxi driver just pulled up and said, "Hey, domestic terminal, good luck, see ya," and out we went. Well, we get inside, and I start seeing all these signs, north, south, and all the different, arrows going everywhere, and I was like, man, we better ask about this. I think there's something to that. Sure enough, Santa Rosa was a northern departure. We had to go to the other end of the terminal. So here we go. We get there. Now we get to the aerial. It's Aerolíneas Argentinas is the airline that we flew in Argentina, is the domestic flight. So we see their counters, and we get there. We get in line. It wasn't much of a line, but we get in line. Now we get up there, and at the last second, my wife had decided that she wanted to go ahead and check another bag. Instead of having a roll-on and a backpack, she wanted to just take her backpack, excuse me, and check the roll-on bag. As soon as she did that, now we had to pay a fee. Now, that's not the bad part. I wasn't upset about that. That's understandable. I expected that. Here's what I didn't expect. So whenever you have to pay for that, you don't get to pay the agent right there at that ticket counter. No. They'll take your bags. They'll go ahead and they sticker the bags and everything. And then they give you the bill, and you have to go all the way down into another part of the terminal to a counter that is set up just for paying for baggage fees. So then you go get in that line, and you wait to get up there to your time at the counter, give them the bill, you pay them, then they give you your boarding passes. Now we finally have boarding passes. Well, now we have to go way back to the other end where we were just at, so that we can go to our gates, right? Go through the security and go to the gates. It's not a big deal, but it's time consuming, and so this is why we'd cut it way too short. Instead of how you're probably normal, you feel it's normal to pay the baggage fee, the extra weight fee or extra bag fee or whatever right there at the ticket counter. That's not the case here. You have to go to a whole nother window. It is time consuming. So anyway, we finally get to the security line, and it is long because it all funnels into basically this one little line, and there's a lot of flights going in and out of there. So we finally get through. When we get through, it was a mad dash to get to the gate, and a lot of these international flights, if you've been on quite a few of them, you may know how they have like the zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and everybody will just get lined up behind that sign. And well, when we got to the gate, I mean, it was to the back. I mean, we get to the very back of the line, and at least we were in line and whatever. We made it. Now, I will say this about that domestic airport. There were a lot of restaurants. There were a lot of places to get something to eat or drink. It would have been actually nice to be able to stop and get something to eat or drink. We didn't have the time. So you can get something to eat or drink there. It would not have been a problem at all, but we just didn't have the time. But go a little bit early to that domestic airport to get through there. After that, let's see. I got some notes here. Okay. Whenever you're buying your tickets, just a little quick little deal I wanted to throw in here. You may know it, you may not. I don't know. It was kind of a new thing to me. Whenever you're buying your tickets, I didn't use a travel agent on this particular trip. I wound up buying all of our tickets, just ourselves, and setting it all up myself. And I'll talk about a travel agency here in a minute, but I didn't use them on this one. So whenever I went to buy the domestic flights with Aerolíneas, whenever it gets to the nationality, don't be looking for USA or America or United States or anything like that. You got to look it up. It's EEUU. That's the nationality that you're going to have to pick if you're American. Okay, whenever you're going to buy these tickets, like I said, there's a lot of people probably know that, and I'm the dummy that didn't. But I just wanted to pass that along. That I really had to study that. I had to figure out, because I went through every country on that list and I couldn't find it. And I finally figured it out. I Googled it and bingo, there we go. So anyway, I just want to pass that on. As far as travel agencies, most of the time I do use a travel agency, because a lot of these times I'm traveling with firearms or a bow, or, a lot of times I just want to use a travel agency because they're able to handle the logistics so much better, because they know the lounges and all the different hotels and stuff like that I don't. And so I use Travel with Guns, TWG, out of Texas. Fantastic group. I've been using them for years. They've always done a great job for me. I've never used Gacy Travel. I know a lot of people that do. They speak highly of them. I'll give them a shout out, even though I've never used them. I know people that do, and they speak highly of them. But I personally use TWG, Travel with Guns, and they do a great job. I just didn't use them for this particular trip. As far as the prices, I'm going to give prices on a lot of these flights and stuff like that, because when you watch these outdoor shows and this guy shows up in Tajikistan and he tells you that he's been traveling for 40 hours and this, that, and the other, 60 hours, you don't know how many flights he took. You don't know what all of it cost, how many hotels, this, that, and the other. And that's why I want to separate these videos from like how those videos run. And I want you to have an idea of what the cost was, and the logistics, and all the different permitting and licensing and everything that I had to go through to actually do this trip. Well, the domestic flights for me and my wife, round trip from Buenos Aires to Santa Rosa and Santa Rosa back, was going to be $350. Now, with some of the baggage fees, I mean, I think we probably wound up hitting $400, but it was going to be about $330, $350 is what it was going to be without any of the extra fees. The international flights, I flew American. Now, I won't go into a lot of that, because you may be able to search through the Expedias and everything else and come up with a fantastic deal, or using what other airline. And so this may all be for nothing to tell you this, but I'll just go ahead and throw it out there that for round trip tickets from DFW, from Dallas Fort Worth to Buenos Aires and back, was $3,500. So that's not sitting in very good seats at all. It's just getting us a seat on the plane. and that's what it costs. I'm gonna be honest about these because a lot of people just don't get that information. And if you're watching this, if you're concerned about, if you're even thinking about going, this is you need to start off with a budget. You need to know what some of this stuff is going to cost, so that you can figure out. Now that doesn't mean you can't search it out and shop it around and come up with a better price. I hope you do. I hope you can beat my price all the heck. I really do. I am going to start off with telling you though what it cost me. I think that's fair. I think that's one of the deals I want to do here. When we were in Buenos Aires, we stayed at a beautiful hotel. We stayed in the Recoleta district. Now the outfitter told me, and he had never met me before in his life, but he actually had. He met me at SCI whenever I bought I bought this as an auction trip. And so he had met me. He knew I was, he had an idea of my age and everything. So whenever he was talking to me, and I was kind of asking him, hey, where should you give a suggestion, recommend us staying in Buenos Aires? And he said, I recommend you stay in the Recoleta district because it's probably more suited to your age and your what you want to do. I was like, man, what's that? What's that to do with my age? He hit the nail on the head. He really did. It's a beautiful hotel. It's a beautiful area. There's parks. There's all kinds of malls. There's shopping. You're right next to the Recoleta Cemetery and this beautiful cathedral. And there was so much to do right there in the area. We walked all over the place. We didn't have to take taxis. We weren't having to take Ubers. We were walking all around that place and felt safe the whole time. Had a great time and got to see a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to show that all in the tourism section of the videos. Not this one, not in the travel. But I wanted to speak about the Recoleta district. That's where we stayed, and we stayed in a hotel called the Melia Recoleta Plaza Hotel. It was beautiful. It has its own spa in it. It has 2 different restaurants, had a nice bar. It is pretty swank. It was all right. I really enjoyed it. Right next door is a steakhouse that was phenomenal. Man, it was out of this world. So it's in a great area. It was a beautiful hotel. I'll let y'all look those numbers up, but I'll just tell you the Recoleta district is a district that you should look at staying at if you go to Buenos Aires. Now, I got to give a shout out to Buenos Aires, and even in this part of it, before I even get to the tourism section. But we had so much fun in Buenos Aires. We could have spent another 5 days. We spent 3-4 days there. I think it was 4, but we could have spent another 5. It was awesome. We loved that place. There was so much to do that we didn't even get to do. I'm looking forward to going back. It was a good time, and the people were awesome. It was a lot of fun. We'll finish this whole travel section off with one thing here, and I feel like a dingbat with all of the traveling I've done all these years, all the international travel, all the work I've done international for years and years and years, and all the duty free stuff I've bought and brought back and blah, blah, blah. This has never happened. It happened to us on this trip, and I want to pass this along. This is something you need to know. So we wound up buying some wine because we wound up drinking some great wine in Argentina. And so I was going to bring back some of these Malbec wines that we had at one of the restaurants we ate at. I bought some in the duty free. But whenever I bought them, did just like you're supposed to. You show them your boarding pass. I paid them. They're going to have it sitting on the jet bridge whenever I get down there, and I'll show them my receipt. Right, here's my receipt. They're going to hand me my bag of wine, and on I go. I never looked at that bag. If they sealed it or not, it's none of my business. That's his job. He's the person checking me out. He's supposed to know all the rules and regulations, and he's supposed to handle that. I get down there to the table. I show my receipt. Nice duty-free man hands me my bag. It's my bag. It's got the 4 bottles of wine in it. And on to the plane I go. I put them up into the compartment, and we fly. Get to Miami. We have to, get our bags in Miami because you have to go through security, immigration and all that, and then you've got to turn your bags back in. So we turn our bags back in, to be checked onto from there on to DFW. I'm still we have now taken those 4 bottles of wine still in the bag. We never did anything. We left them in the bag. But all we did was we just put them inside a rolling bag. Right? That's all we did. We just rolled the top down, put them in the bag, zipped it up. Now it's in one of our rolling cases. We go through security, goes through the x-ray machine, comes out the end. They want to do the inspection. Okay, whatever. They unzip it. TSA unzips it, looks at it, pulls the bag out, says, can't have this. What do you mean it can't have this? We bought it at duty free in Buenos Aires. Well, it's not sealed. It's not taped. What do you mean? The top of the bag is not taped. It has to be taped, and they show with this kind of tape right here. I'm like, well, we didn't get into the bag. We didn't even package it up. We just got it at the jet bridge. I'm sorry that they didn't tape it. You can't take it. You're going to have to either forfeit it here, or you're going to have to go all the way back out and go check it back in. Are you kidding me? No. We can't tape it. It has to be taped in Buenos Aires at duty free. We can't tape it. So Wendy had to go all the way back out to the ticket counter, take that rolling bag, and check it in. Get it checked in, and then come all the way back through, security again, and we get to the gate, and what a mess. So here's my tip. When you buy any kind of alcohol or anything else like that at one of these duty-free stores, you need to make sure that they tape it, that they seal it. If you get down on the jet bridge and you get your bag and it's not sealed, it's not taped, do not take it. Do not take it and go on. You've got to have them tape it before coming into the United States and then going through security, or you're going to be in that kind of a mess. You're either going to have to forfeit it, or you're going to have to make that mad dash out there to go and check in that bag. And we almost missed that next flight just because of it. It was a mess. So that's another one of the little tips I wanted to give. I hope this has all been helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm going to get better at this. I had a little bit of fun putting this one together. My next one will be the hunting and fishing, and then I'll finish it off with the tourism. Hopefully I'll get a little bit better with the technology on this editor by that time. But anyway, here's a summary for the Argentina travel section. Thank you.
This looks like us right here. All right, give a smile with the camera. This is it. There we go. Buenos Aires, here we come. Okay. Hey, dear, look. We made it. And people are working. Here's a taxi driver. We got Wendy's big old bag. And here we go. Looks pretty empty this morning. It wasn't very empty at the immigration, I'll tell you that. And I don't know that I ever go through any immigration very quick, though, in any country, so we're excited. We're here. It wasn't even that bad of a flight. I know I complain about it, but once you land and you're in that new place and the adrenaline starts flowing, and it's not so bad after all. So We were able to change some money. They handed me a stack of 1,000 pesos. It makes me look like I'm a super gangster. In American money, it won't go very far. Woohoo! That old boy's going right over you. Anyway, we're in Buenos Aires. We're going to go get us something to eat, get us a hotel room to take a nap. Hey, get us a nap today, and then we fly out this afternoon to Santa Rosa. One more leg of this journey, and we're finally going to be somewhere for a little while. Gracias. Beautiful day. I hope we get to keep this weather for the whole trip. So, anyway, we're here. got us a hotel room for today, just so we can get us a shower and that. This is the Scala Hotel in the Palermo district. It is by the domestic airport. So we wound up just telling the taxi driver from the airport, from the international airport, that we just wanted to find a hotel by the domestic airport, just get us somewhere close so we could, get some rest and a shower and everything. And he brought us here. We didn't look at any others. He just brought us to this one, and it's fine. We're paying like it's not too expensive, but seems like a really nice hotel for the day. There was actually an English speaking person at the counter, which is a big benefit since we're having to do all of our translation with the taxi driver over an app on the phone from Spanish to English, and that is a challenge. But I'm going to tell you, you come here, you're just going to have to expect that there's not everybody's going to be bilingual. I mean, no different than I'm not. So, and they're not either. So we're having to do it, with an app. It looks crazy out here out of the out of the back view, but actually it's a nice hotel, believe it or not. But it's just it is what it is when you're in big cities in different parts of the world. There's actually some really beautiful structures that we've already seen. And then there are a ton of apartment buildings. I mean, a lot. But anyway, so I think we're going to get us a bite to eat, a shower, and a nap, so we can get going this afternoon.